not have a problem in migrating if I come back and say, I guarantee 99.99% you will have no issue when you upgrade. Why would anybody not upgrade at that point? So I think part of it is how can we give them that confidence that they're not going to run into that issue. And I think we can do that with cloud. Again, we can do a lot of those things because we can run a lot of different tests. We can create a lot of automated tests. We can help the companies, you know, because it's like changing the engine of the plane while you're flying. You know, people do not want to do that, but if we can guarantee that there will be no problem, then they will do it. Right?
I guess the other question more towards like his issue is there a way in future releases to have a user-defined, I'm now on version lock. I cannot save it unless I go through X, Y, Z to turn off this feature, so I could save it. So I don't accidentally like, hey, you're on old version, whatever. Yeah, I can view it new, but I guarantee I stop myself.
Yeah, that's actually, if that is what we want to do, I think that, to tell you frankly, is not a hard thing at all. I will remember it for sure, but if you guys do not mind, send me a quick email. I will make sure that it goes to the right people. Of course, I know you probably have put some enhancements, requests, etc., and maybe you'll say, well, you never see the answer to that, or I put it in the top 10 in 3D Experience World, or whatever, and Bruce Holloway never listened, or whatever. But this is a very important topic for us, and if this particular way relieves it, maybe it's not a bad thing, and I'll make sure I'll convey the message to the right people. And I know that a bunch of us were in Montana. You know, we were doing our yearly planning with a lot of our resellers and the owners, and this topic was brought up. So Manish, Gianpaolo, myself, Mark, Jordan, were you there? Yeah. Right? And this topic, and we discussed it, if you remember. So I think it's in the minds of the people right now. So if Manish was here, he already put a proposal in place, by the way, around this, what I just described to you, around the running on the cloud. He's already pushing that as well, but having this particular lock feature. Yeah.
Or even maybe a source control on files in a sense, where hey, once the major thing happens, it's a new revision and you can source control back to it.
Well, we have PDF for that.
Yeah. I forget about it because I don't use it.
You have the feature, you don't use it. Yeah, so that's that. There's a question here we can try to address it with all the cybersecurity issues out there. How can we be sure that cloud-based data is secure with 3D Experience? To tell you frankly, cybersecurity, I mean, you can be as sure as, I think it's definitely better than sitting on your laptop right now. I guarantee that. Or something, stuff has happened to my laptop. Actually, it hasn't happened in a few years, but it has happened. If you look at the number of data breaches which happen, if you really look at the amount of stuff which happens on cloud, it's minuscule, or even probability. If you're running a probability, I think it's nothing. So I would not, of course, with that said, just so cybersecurity, we take it very seriously. In fact, we have all kinds of procedures and processes to make sure that is as good as anything else. But with that said, I think the cybersecurity, if somebody tries to hack into you, yeah, that's going to happen. It's probably better than anything which is happening on your laptop, in your company's network, all of that. My guarantee is that, because we are spending a lot of time, or if we are working on AWS, they are spending a lot of time. They are putting more resources than the company's resources. So, yes.
When you're ready, I have another question.
Sure. I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
I would like to have a discussion about the SOLIDWORKS forums, which are an enormous database of user inputted information, and a great way for users to find unique solutions to unique problems that otherwise would be difficult to find. And in the past year or so, the SOLIDWORKS forums were migrated to 3D Experience such that they could only be accessed by people who have an account with a username and a password. And this was discussed in detail in the weekly SOLIDWORKS user group leadership meeting hosted by Dan, and Dan took great effort to make sure that we could discuss it thoroughly. And it was highly debated at that time. So I'm interested to know how that rollout has gone and what the user response has been.
Yeah, so I don't know if you have been part of, so I've been part of a meeting for a year now, and now we have stopped it, or we have pretty much gone away from it. But we had, I think, around 20 of the user leaders whom we met. Were you part of those meetings every week?
No.
So we were meeting weekly. So for everybody else, I think all of you know, we had SolidWorks forums, which used to be hosted by a company called Jive. We used to use their platform. It's a forums platform to do what we needed to do. And then we migrated to Swim because Jive was doing end of life. So they were not willing to support it any further, and they wanted us to migrate to a different version they had. So we said, okay, in the future, if you're going with 3D Experience, let's migrate on the platform so we can do all of that. Now, actually, in the end, you can search for an answer through Google, etc. As soon as you want to get more details on it, you'll have to use a login and a password. I'm assuming nobody should have a problem with that. You create logins and passwords for maybe millions of things.
I think it creates challenges for new users, particularly in university settings. I heard from students today, actually, that in their coursework they're learning about SOLIDWORKS, and they get a project in the class, and then they have to go home and work on it themselves, and they run into an issue, and they don't have an account, and it's frustrating.
And the same student probably created an Instagram account in like 2 seconds, right?
I guess. It's another step. It's an added obstacle that didn't used to exist.
But the motivation matters. What I'm saying is, okay, look, I know. However, I think creating an account gives them that benefit. So they can go on Google search today. The way it works is they will search. I'll say, hey, if you want to go into it, create an account. Create an account is a 30-second process. And that's it. And they are creating it now. Once they create an account, now they become a known entity, and they can contribute back to the community. So that's a good thing in my view, because then now they are actually involved in the community much more. I used to hear about it. I don't hear much about that. Account creation is an issue, right? If the user experience in there, they have other, that we will improve. I think the ability to create an account, etc., is not a big deal, and it also provides security for other people as well, because now you have known people. Otherwise, in forums, by the way, I'll give you another thing. On a daily basis, we have a lot of spam happening right now, which we are dealing with in here. So I'd rather have more known people than, just for the benefit of the people. And it's not a big hurdle. A lot of the students, I think, they shouldn't be complaining.
Okay.
I look at my kids, and these guys are creating Instagram. I don't even know if they have like 10 different accounts. I would be happy if they had a forum account.
Thank you for answering my question.
I think, anyway, I'm around if you guys have further questions.
Thank you.